What's going on, everybody? My name's Jarek Rubel. We got Jake Elder back with us today for the special Tuesday edition of Royal Betters. We promised all last week he'd be back. Here he is.
I know I've been gone for a while. I just wasn't feeling confident in what I was doing and not giving all my time to, actually handicap, and didn't want to give out plays that were just my own thoughts, I guess, without any strategy behind them. But the Wild Hurricanes games.
Yeah, that's postponed, and the Nashville-Calgary game has been postponed because COVID throughout the league, and other games to keep an eye on. Probably Boston, Marchand's got COVID. I hear Vancouver had a positive test or two pop up, and they're going to have a defenseman recalled. And the Panthers, I believe, have some issues. Lomberg and Lemico, I believe his name is, both have COVID. So
sorry, that was off track. I just saw Void on one of my things. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to get to that when we got to the game. But yeah, Carolina, Minnesota is postponed. I was going to be on the first period and full game over in that game, but it's no longer here. So that's another game off the slate. And we'll hop back into today. We got Jake here with us to talk about Tuesday's card. And first game, might as well talk about it, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal here, plus 235 here as road dogs. Pens minus 300 home favorites, over under 5.5, shaded to the under. Now, Montreal, last time we saw these two teams meet, beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-3. Now, however, I don't think that's going to happen tonight. The Habs have a lot of injuries, and Penguins have been still playing well without Gensel, without Rust. Rodriguez has been real strong in the top line. Dan Heinen's come around, scored some goals. I grabbed the Penguins. The puck line was plus money 2 nights ago. I got it plus 105. I mean, Montreal, I think they lost 13 games this season by 3 or more goals. I mean, they're just getting smoked. Yeah. When Terry told me that they might be as bad as Arizona, I believed it right away. And I mean, this team sucks. But I mean, They might have beaten just because they beat the Penguins the first time around doesn't mean it's going to happen again.
Yeah, definitely. Penguins the only look. Obviously, money line won't work for that one, but yeah, minus 1.5 isn't a bad bet. I got some player props on this one. Other than that, I do have Pittsburgh in parlays because they're definitely going to win tonight, I believe. But like you said, Evan Rodriguez, he is one of my player props. I have him score a goal tonight. Crosby also has good history against Montreal, so
I also thought about
Crosby
that
as well.
So I'm looking the Pens on the puck line here tonight. Jake's got him in some parlays. He didn't really do too much otherwise. We'll have some props to discuss later on in this game.
Yeah. I don't think that you can go anywhere with the total in this one either. I think it's totally
I've seen a lot of people on the under. I don't know, though. Pittsburgh could all of a sudden just, smack the shit out of them. So.
Yeah, it could easily be 5-1.
Right.
So I feel like there's no way to look at this game as an under and over.
Not at all. No, I'd agree with that. So, yeah, Penguins on the puck line for me. Jake's got him in some parlays. We'll move on to Philadelphia and New Jersey here. Saw this matchup just the other week. Devils won that one 3-0. Devils, they were favorites in that one. Now they're plus money in this one, plus 105 on the road, taking on Flyers, who are minus 125 here. Over under 6 shaded to the under. Now, this is a game I ended up staying away from, but if I had to bet it, I would probably go with the first period under. I was in a Spaces hosted by Melissa Cunningham on Twitter over the weekend, and there's this guy, Chelgod, in there. Chelly, you can find him on Twitter. I think it's Chelgod007. Might be wrong on that. But he was saying how he's watched a lot of New Jersey Devils games, and they start slow. The pace of it's slow. They don't do much of anything. And the last two, I watched 2 games since then, and that's exactly what's happened. It's been boring first period. And in games there, I thought that Nashville game, but we ended up getting Saros surprisingly in that, even though I was expecting Riddick in the second of a back-to-back or Connor Ingram. I mean, that game was just dull, and then Nashville ended up taking full advantage of it later on. So New Jersey here, they're just kind of like a hit-or-miss team. When they're really clicking, they seem to score 5 or 6. But other than that, they barely get 3.
Yeah, I totally agree. The only time I ever look, like you said, I mean, I'm looking at the trend right now because I didn't want to just speak, but I mean, these 2 games were 5-2 and 8-4, so not counting those 2, but games that average around a 5-goal game, it seems like when the Devils are the home team, there's more goals when they're home. But when they're away, there's nothing. They don't start off strong at all in away games. Most of them are 0-0 to start. So
And
yeah,
I think a low-scoring game plays into the Flyers' favor here because you look at all the games that they've won. That game against Vegas was the first game that went over for them in a victory since like early October. Most of their wins 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 3-0, 3-1. Like if they're gonna win games, it's gonna be because they have good goaltending. It's not because they can score.
100%. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we thought their defense would be better this year. Like obviously there's a lot more into this.
And
this
they fired a garbage coach and hired one just as bad. I mean, I
Yeah,
think Yo's just got the interim tag, but still, I hate Mike Yo. We saw what he did with, the Wild and the Blues, and drove those teams into the dirt.
yeah. When you're talking about it, I wanna look into that. The first period under definitely Devils away, but
Leans always win, and I lean it. So
leans always win, bro. That's what always happens. But for me, I'm definitely on the Flyers. Overall, they're 0-2 against the Devils this year, and this is the last game they play against them. So,
is it? No, it's not because they're in the same division. They got 2 more after this.
Maybe I just heard that, or yeah. Well,
if you saw that on Twitter, they probably messed that up because they're in the same division. They play 5 times. If one was in the Atlantic, they play 3 times.
Gotcha. Well, their first 2 they've lost. I mean, it was like 6-3, I think the first one, and then what?
3-0 last time. Shutout for Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. So I think the Flyers know they got to win this one here. I mean, they finally got that win that they needed. They've come around somewhat, but they're still letting up goals. So the over does look good, but like we talked about, the Devils away aren't much of anything. So I'm gonna look at the Flyers here. If they were playing the normal Flyers that we thought we'd get, this line wouldn't be like this. So
yeah, maybe look for Claude Giroux to score a goal. He's been real good since the coaching change. He's the captain of that team. He's taken, it seems to be big leadership there. Yeah. So Claude Giroux maybe a look, but I lean the first period under. Leans win. That's all I'll say. Pay attention to that sentence.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so that's Philadelphia and New Jersey. Carry along now to the LA Kings, starting the Eastern swing, taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning, who come home after a 3-game Eastern Canadian trip. They got smoked by the Ottawa Senators. They put up an absolute dud in that game, losing 4-0. Line here is -190 for Tampa, +155 for the Kings. Over under 5.5, shaded to the under. Now, that game against Ottawa, like that showed me why I just shouldn't even go back to Tampa Bay games. Just F Tampa Bay. Here's a lean. Okay,
hold on.
First.
Don't blame. I don't know if you want to blame Tampa on this one. Ottawa has beat Colorado. What? Florida? No, not Florida. They play Florida tonight. Colorado, Tampa, and one other big team. I can't remember. Who was the other team they beat in this past week and a half?
Tampa Bay? Oh, Ottawa?
Tampa, Colorado, and one other one.
There was another one in there too. Why can't they? No, they lost to the Islanders. The Islanders
Ottawa's just been upsetting. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
It's because when Bathurst, they're a different
team with Drake.
That's right. They did beat the Hurricanes. That's when we were at the concert. I was like, I need Hurricanes team total.
I don't think. Oh yeah. I don't think this is like a Senators team that's just. I think they're just getting hot for a minute. But
no, I'll tell you this: they're a different team with Drake Batherson in the lineup. He makes so much of a difference. You look before he got hurt.
I agree.
They beat Pittsburgh 6-3, and then they were just a straight sack of shit. And they dealt with COVID and all that for a little bit. Now they're finally fully healthy. Batherson's back. When that top line's going, and they have a little bit of depth on that second line, they're able to score.
Do you think for
also hang on, wait, just before Anton Forsberg shut out the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I was about to talk about Ottawa, Florida, but we're not there right now.
Yeah, we'll
back to the Kings Lightning. But I really don't think you can blame Tampa in that. Ottawa's just I mean, I don't know. Tampa's still themselves, but for me, I do like the Kings tonight. I think it's a decent spot for them. They're coming off a few wins. Like,
They've been better on the road than they've been at home too. That win streak they had was on an Eastern trip.
yeah, because they're back.
They're back on
Yeah,
the East Coast. They're in Tampa. It's going to be tough though. I think they got like Tampa, Florida,
Tampa,
and
Florida,
Carolina.
Hurricanes,
They play
Capitals,
Washington. Yeah.
Oilers.
Wait, is that Washington game a Sunday day game? 'Cause I think it is. Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, not day, 6 o'clock.
Okay. Either way, just weird thought, and I'm getting off topic again. When I think of those two matching up in Washington, I think of that Oshie water bottle shot from a couple years ago, so I'm probably going to bet Oshie to score.
That's a random, but you get those.
That Parise bet, oh my
You
God.
talked about that, right?
If you guys follow me
You
on
talked about
Twitter,
it on here?
I don't know if I did, because that was Saturday night? I was calling hockey Sunday morning, so I didn't do a show. But I don't think I talked about it on the show pregame. I posted it on my Twitter later. I was like, Jonathan Toews didn't score a goal 2 nights ago. Or didn't score a goal. He scored his first goal of the season 2 nights ago. The night prior, Blake Wheeler scored his first of the year. And then I see Zach Parise, who has no goals, was elevated to the second line. I'm like, here it is. Night number 3 with
Dude,
some
reading your
veteran getting his
tweet,
first goal.
I read your tweet. You're like, you go, this might be a stupid trend, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And you go, Chase got his first goal, Wheeler got his first goal. I'm gonna go with this dog, Zach Parise, to get his first goal. I was like, okay. And then it happened. I was like, bro, what? Like, that's a crazy something to happen. But we'll get back here. Yeah, the Kings, their last few games.
I know, I haven't even gotten to the lean. I keep talking over you,
right?
too.
We keep getting sidetracked. It's our first time back on stream, so. But yeah, they beat the Oilers, and then you obviously ran into a hot Canucks team. You can't do much about that. Fired the coach. Like, that spot, we knew that was the Canucks spot right there. Nothing to blame. And then once again, they go back. They get shut out. Then they go and shut out the Stars, and they beat the Wild, which the Wild are the top team in the league at the moment. So I like the spot for the Kings here. I have a bet on them at the plus 155, and that's all I got. I don't know. I lean over, but I don't want to bet it, but I really do lean it.
My lean is Tampa in the first period, just because of the run it's been on. And this is just, I didn't bet it whatsoever. I'm just leaning it. I wrote these notes out a couple nights ago, and I was just kind of looking in front. These Tampa first periods have been electric, but then they lost against Ottawa. So it's just a lean that really has no lean to it, if that makes sense. That's just kind of
you ready
the
for
little
this
jot.
one? Did you watch Wager Talk today? Or
yeah,
not?
I know. Yeah, and then there's another best bet on, or just another bet on a different show that was Tampa in the first period. So I was like,
No, but he was on the Kings first period.
I know.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. So there's people that are on opposite sides here.
Take the first period over. Forget the
trend. Alex
on
Ice Guys. I think Alex was talking towards the first period over.
Yeah, I'd like
shout out to him for that.
Right, because Tampa's so used to just winning a first period 1-0. Like that's their trend, especially Vasilevsky at home. It doesn't.
Yeah, and he didn't play last game either, so he's back on a little more rest.
Yeah, so the 1-0 for the Lightning looks like a good bet, but I'm gonna take. I like the over. I like the over in the whole game.
Cirelli's back too for the Lightning, and there's another guy who was out. I don't know why it's escaping my mind, but yeah, they got 2 guys back tonight. Cirelli being one of them.
Gotcha. All right.
So that was Tampa Bay and the Los Angeles Kings. Moving on here to Vegas and Boston. Boston getting here with the COVID news. You saw Brad Marchand and Craig Smith being added to the COVID list.
This is the line? What?
It was Vegas plus 110 earlier. Our buddy Alex, who we just mentioned, played that as soon as the Marchand news came out. It's now a pick'em here. Over under 5.5 shaded to the over.
And the over-under on FanDuel, it's a 6.
Interesting.
I
like the first period over in this one, and my thoughts being is Robin Leonard's getting the start here tonight. And sure, there's no Marchand and Smith, so the lines are going to be all messed up for Boston. But Leonard's allowed 3 goals here on 10 shots or less in 2 straight games. So I'm thinking Boston's going to get their licks here early. And they're also, without a good defensive presence in Marchand. Bergeron's going to have to be a little more responsible. So you might see it open up just a little bit more. And, Vegas, they're obviously capable of scoring way early in these games. I could see this game going over in the first period. Maybe it settles down after. Maybe it does go over. I mean, Vegas, I don't know if they've ever won in Boston in their 3 trips there. Yeah, don't quote me on that, but I could see this. I could see this kind of being a wild one to an extent.
I'm not sure, but the only reason I lean under here is Vegas. They're supposed to be a defensive team, and I feel like, but with Marchand being out, that could definitely impact.
The Bruins 5-6 straight first period unders here, but I'm going against that. I think that trend kind of breaks.
But I can see the first period over there, but I'm gonna stick with my original bet is the under 6 at -120. It was on FanDuel, and I took that for the reason Boston plays a defensive, like they're more of a defensive team.
That's and they've been as of late.
That's their trend, and I mean, Pacioretty and Stone and crew have been going off lately. They've put up goals a lot, so I don't know. I think Boston's gonna sit back, play defensively, and try to shoot their shot when they get the chance. Other than that, they're just gonna, tight checking game is my thought process in this one.
Yeah, it could obviously go either way. I'm just hoping in that first period. I believe it's Ullmark versus Leonard. I know Leonard's confirmed.
Yeah, it is Ullmark. I saw Ullmark. You're right.
All right, so I'm on the first period over there. Jake's liking the under. And that's it for Vegas and Boston. I got some props to look forward to later in that one. But moving along here on the slate, the Islanders taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Islanders plus 105 here. This line's moved a lot. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this again, but I think the Islanders opened as favorites in this one. And now it's moved to Detroit. And over under here, way juiced to the under, -140. Maybe we end up getting a 5 here before puck drop. I didn't end up betting this game. I mean, the Islanders have gotten a couple wins under their belt here. I mean, Detroit at home, I like betting their team total over 2.5, but I mean, Sorokin all of a sudden kind of scares me. I don't know. Just a weird feeling with this Islanders team. They're going to turn a corner here consistently at some point, and I don't really want to get in their way until I know that they're either not or they are going to.
Yeah, 100%. Bertuzzi's back in the lineup. That top line, Bertuzzi, Larkin, and Raymond. I like that one. And like the under is very juiced right now, but I got in a little bit earlier, -125 or 130, whatever it was at when I took it. That, and I like the Wings tonight. I like the spot for him here. I mean, I know Sorokin does scare me, like you said, that seeing Sorokin, but his last start, he didn't do very well, I believe, if I'm correct. I don't want to talk out of my ass, but because Sorokin in the beginning of the season, what?
Varlamov's been rough. I know that for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But Sorokin in the beginning of the season had 3 shutouts and 4 starts or something?
Yeah, he was going to have one against the Hawks too, and then that goal ended up standing in the game we went to.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, but he's come down to back to normal. So, and with Bertuzzi being back, I just Detroit's a fast team to me. They got scores everywhere. That Sider guy.
They're still hanging around a wild card spot. Don't count out Detroit.
And I'm glad Nedeljkovic is in that because I never understood why the Hurricanes let him go. They're being successful without him somehow. I don't know. This Hurricanes team confuses me. They let go of so many guys, and they're still the top dog. And now they got Aho and somebody else out, but I still think
the Hurricanes, they now have 9 top guys out now. They're really rattled with COVID.
Oh, I was going to say, even just without Aho, they're still such a deep team that gives them life.
I got the daily face-off notifications on it, and they just kept coming down, really? And I was like, holy smokes.
But yeah.
And that was already on top. Sorry. That was already on top of 4 guys who were already out with it.
Oh, really? Well, I always like Nedeljkovic with Carolina, and he's come here and done what he can with not as strong of a defense on Detroit. But I'm gonna go. I have the under here. I did a little so on FanDuel it's really annoying because I've lost a lot of bets like this, but it's the totals / money line parlay. but it's regulation based. And so a lot of times I take the under 5, like for the Hawks, I did it when they were on that trend of under 5.5 Hawks money line.
Yeah.
And it would cash in overtime, and I wouldn't cash my bet.
What
Happened
if
2
you
or 3
just clicked
times.
instead of hitting the game parlay? What if you just hit like the 2
You
on the
can't
regular?
on FanDuel.
No,
Yeah, no, it's
damn.
annoying. So when I did those, I was like, oh, I hit it. 3-2 final, Hawks win every time, and it wouldn't cash because I found out that it's regulation based. So there's one where you can pick tie / under over. So I have that bet in tonight. I got the tie / under 5.5, which that's one of my favorite bets, honestly. It's plus 550, and I really like it to be 2-2 or 1-1 going into overtime.
I hope so. It was 3-3 going into overtime just 2 weeks ago when these teams met. So hopefully
Really?
you get
Yeah,
it.
what
Yeah.
was Sorokin in that? Nedeljkovic, though?
I honestly couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I just remember I cashed the Wings team total that game, so that's why I
Oh, I do
remember it.
remember, yeah. Well, I'll look right now because I'm curious now. That's just one of my favorite bets, but it's obviously a big line or plus odds. Sorokin versus Nedeljkovic, yeah.
All right, so same goaltending matchup.
Yeah, I got the under and Detroit, and I have a tie bet out there.
I'm going to pass on this game. There's nothing I like in any perspective for this one. So that was the Islanders and the Red Wings. Moving on here, one more game in the 6 o'clock slate. Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes and the Ottawa Senators. Panthers here minus 275. Ottawa here on the road plus 220. Over under 6.5 shaded to the under. That's a massive number. I'm not going to end up betting this game because just nothing odds wise makes sense to me. But I mean, if I had to pick something, I would probably just go with the Panthers team total over 3.5.
Yeah, I hear ya. One thing I am looking at is Ottawa. Obviously, we talked about how good they're playing right now. And Florida, their last 3-4 home games have let up the first goal. They've gone down.
Yeah,
very early.
They have to come back to win.
Yeah, all these home games, they've had to come back, and I mean they haven't won all of them, but they've definitely made a push back. So I might look at the Ottawa to get the first goal. First period home is probably super juicy.
Those first goal picks. You might have to stay tuned for one of those.
I know you're talking about one for that. Yeah, obviously the first period over is minus 152. That's insane to me. But both teams to score in the first period, that looks like a good bet. Also, as I said, Florida's been giving up the first goal pretty early on in their games at home. So
I'm going to be upset if that wins tonight and not against Colorado last Sunday because I was like, oh, that's going to be a lock against Colorado. And it was scoreless going into the...
I remember you texting me that, and I was like, watch not happen. And then we talked about this is hockey, and then it's 0-0, and then 6 goals, third or 5.
Literally. Yeah, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I'm on Ottawa first goal. Other than that, I think the Panthers will win because they've been struggling. I think they lost, but Spencer Knight's in that, and he's good, but that scares me still. I don't know. Florida's just a scary team right now. They can't play defense consistently at all.
I'm staying away. So that's it for Panthers and Sens. Canes Wild postponed, unfortunately. So that go ahead. I was going to transition right into it and say so that means we're going to talk about the Sabers and the Jets. Sabers here on the road plus 210 dogs. Jets minus 265 home favorites. Over under 5.5 shaded to the over. I ended up not betting this game too because there's just no value anywhere I see it. If I had to again pick. Same thing as the Panthers game. I'd go ahead and take the Jets team total over 3.5, but I don't really like the price on any of it, so I'm staying away.
Yeah, 100% agree. I have the Jets in a parlay. That's about it. Like taking their money line or taking them in regulation, but depending on what I pick there, when I just make my giant 10-leggers and hope that they hit for no reason. Because I'm confident in this Jets team. That I remember. I don't know if I told you the day, but when they finally put Wheeler, Scheifele, and Connor back on the top line and stopped splitting them up, because that made no sense to me why those three were literally on one. Like Wheeler was on the third line for a minute, and it was weird. The lines were messed up. They finally put them back on the top line together, and they went crazy that first game, 1-6-1 or whatever it was. It was like, all right, the Jets are back. I'm going to ride them for these next few weeks until I see something otherwise. Obviously, today Blake Wheeler's out, but I mean, he was a factor when it came to assists, but that's kind of where it ended. Obviously, he got his first goal, and now he's out. But Andrew Kopp moved to the top line, so I might be looking at him. He's been doing good. Ehlers has finally found it again from what he was last year. Took him a while to come back, but I like this Jets team, and I'll have them in regulation. I think it's minus. It's big juiced, but it's in parlays with my bets.
All right, so Jake liking the Jets there in that one. If I had to pick, I'd take the Jets team total over 3.5, but I'm not betting it. Moving along here, we got a nice Central Division rivalry matchup. The St. Louis Blues taking on the Dallas Stars. Blues plus 135 road dogs. The Stars minus 155 here at home. Over under 5.5 shaded to the under. Now this is, yeah, I talked about this on the show the other day when I bet the Sharks team total over. And of course, I've just bad empty net luck with them and it couldn't get there. It's the third time this year I've been screwed by an empty netter by San Jose. But Dallas at home and Dallas on the road are two different teams, kind of like Columbus. Now, and Dallas kicks ass on home ice. Their home road splits, I think they've allowed close to 30 or 50 goals on the road and have only scored 28 on the road. I don't even think they got to that. I think they're still around like 26 because they got shut out against the Kings. And at home, I mean, even without Rupe Hintz, I think they'll be able to score in the first period. They're on a run here, 7-1 at home in the first period. So I'm going to go ahead and take Dallas here. Do we have a goaltending confirmation on the Blues? Because I know there's just been a goaltending carousel for them.
Lindgren. It's Lindgren.
Lindgren? Okay, yeah. We'll see what he does here on the road. Dallas
Lindgren versus Ottinger. Yeah.
And yeah, I love Ottinger. He's been super, super good for Dallas. I believe his goals against us under 1.8. So, yeah, give me the Stars here in the first period. I think they start out hot. I wouldn't even be surprised if they lead 2-0.
Yeah,
Jamie Benn, too. Keep an eye on him. We'll talk about him later. He's been really good for the Stars as of late.
Yeah, so I've been doing this what's it called? A spreadsheet. I've been typing stuff in and been doing that on my time off, but obviously Rupe Hintz is out, but the amount of times Dallas does score that first goal, and they've scored the first goal a lot against these any team, but at home especially.
Yep.
So I might look towards that, but it's probably very juiced. But maybe take a first goal scorer from Dallas. Obviously, that'll be like +7.
Honestly, I would literally just say Ben or Robertson.
I was gonna say I would pick Robertson or
Low
Hintz.
key though, Radek Faksa, if I'm not mistaken, has a good history against the Blues. That could just be like a weird, stupid play again.
But yeah, if there's a first goal props on any of your sports books, it's definitely a good look because they're definitely up there. And Hintz has gotten the most, but obviously,
Hintz is like the Brinket of Dallas.
Yeah, literally. So my second bet would be Robertson after that. But I am on Dallas regulation here, +100. Like you said, they have good history, and the Blues are just Lindgren's in that. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, we haven't seen them on the road yet. The Blues, I mean, they've been kind of like a win-loss team. They've won a couple in a row here. I think they're due for a loss. I think they'll start slow here and probably fail to catch up against Dallas. Dallas, I mean, St. Louis team total under 2.5 might not be a bad play either, but I'm not going to add that to my card. I'm just going to keep Dallas in the first period, -0.5 goal. I love it.
Yep.
All right. So, moving on to the game of the night here. For most people, you could say there are going to be 3 powerhouse games here. Carolina and Minnesota, unfortunately, getting postponed. First one of the 2 that we're going to talk about here back-to-back, the Leafs and the Oilers. Leafs here -130 on the road, +110. The Oilers here on home ice, over under 6.5, shaded to the under. All right, this is the trend, right? Oilers have allowed the first goal 14 times in the last 17 games, and they've lost 6 straight first periods. I'm on the Leafs to score first, -110, and I'm on the Leafs in the first period, +170. Puck line, that is.
I hear you on that. You've been talking about that trend with the Oilers for a while. Obviously, the 2 times that they didn't, I think you were on the other side, right?
Yeah, but I've been riding it for a while here now, so it's
yeah,
good.
now you're good. But when you first started that trend, the first 2 times, you're like, how?
First three?
How
No, it was the first 3 times.
all
Literally,
3 of
the
them?
3 times that they haven't. I mean, so I guess that makes sense if I've been riding it for as long as I have, that I've hit the 3 times that they've missed too. But yeah, that was literally the first 3 times. I was like, what the hell?
But yeah, stick with it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, the power play too. We'll talk on some props later. I mean, I think they're hitting at like 70% or more over these last handful of games. There were some power play points here that are gonna have some crazy odds. Stay tuned for that. You might find some nice money there.
Yeah, I definitely am gonna stick with my same strategy.
I think we're probably gonna have the same 2 people for power play points.
Yeah, if it's the ones that we talked about back in the I don't
back
even
in
know
our
when.
heyday when we were shitting the bed on royal betters.
Yeah, right. But hey, it was a good trend that I found. It just never hit when I bet it.
Right.
First time I don't bet it, it hits. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, but at least to get it going here early, -110 for the first goal, +170. You could bet it, 3-way money liner. I think they're favored on the puck line in the first period, so you can find it there.
Yeah, I just have some player props on this game. I don't really want to touch. It's 6.5, right? Yeah, I don't like to touch a 6.5, so I touched it on.
And the
Avalanche
Oilers,
and
I think
Florida.
their last 6 home games or whatever, they've only scored 5 goals. That might be wrong, something like that. But yeah,
they're just on a cold trend right now. But these are the two top heavy teams that we like to talk about. So I guess it could work out in their favor, maybe. But
yeah, we'll find out. Another heavy game here to talk about: the Rangers and the Avalanche. Up on screen, the Rangers here +150 on the road. That's a big price for such a good team. The Avalanche -185 here at home. Oh, shaded to the over. Numbers at 6. I didn't end up betting this game. I really couldn't find something that I like, but I know people who are on the Rangers team total over 2.5, and it made sense to me because Devon Tays is out for the Avalanche. So is Landeskog, but every time, like, I thought to myself, every time Devontae was out, like, Cale Makar was at least like -3 every single game. Like, defensively, they were just getting smoked, and I could see the Rangers being able to get 3 on them here. I mean, most teams have been able to squeak 3 past the Avalanche. I mean, they're not a great defensive team like we thought they would be. I mean, they were last year, but as of now, I mean, they're very susceptible to allowing goals. I'm not going to end up betting anything in that game, but I'll give you guys that recommendation of team total 2.5. Heard that one on the Ice Guys. Our buddy Terry Edelman was on it, so shout out to those guys for mentioning that because it made me think.
yeah, I don't have much on this game. So I don't know where to go with this. I think the Avalanche win, but that line obviously explains why that is, because I don't know. I think the Rangers are definitely over exceeding what they were supposed to do. And I mean, you could ride that, or I don't preferably like it. I think that power play unit is just very good with Savannah Jet and Kreider and Panarin and Fox. Like that unit right there, and when they're out on the ice is just different. So it's hard to stop them. But once you get past that, I don't think the Rangers are that deep of a team. Shesterkin's been playing amazing, but is he in
Georgiev's in that?
Yeah, exactly. So I would take the Avs if the line was different, but it's not. So I'll just watch the game. Panarin's my guy. I'll root for him.
All right, so that's going to be an ESPN Plus game exclusively found on there. So Rangers and the Avalanche. 2 more games to talk about here on this Tuesday card. The Vancouver Canucks, red hot here, taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Jackets here +120, Canucks -140 here on home ice. Over under 5.5, 110 both ways. Now, I mean, Columbus is just an absolute dumpster fire on the road. They allow goal after goal after goal on the road. I mean, Demko here is playing fantastic. I'm going to look at the Canucks in regulation here in this one to keep it rolling. I don't care if they might have a couple guys out because of COVID on defense even. I mean, Demko's been, splendid since Boudreau's taken over, even before he took over. I mean, apart from the Winnipeg game, they've allowed, a goal or less in every single game they played. They shut out the Kings, 1 goal to the Canes, 1 goal to the Bruins. And the Jets are a team that plays historically well in that building, so that was just one of those games, and they were able to get it done. So I like the Canucks a lot here tonight. I also bet Jackets team total under 2.5 in regulation, just because a part of me is like, I don't want to end up getting screwed on both bets in case like it's 2-2 going to overtime, because so many games in Rogers Arena are 3-2. And just the thought of that was like, But yeah, I'm going to take a shot with the Canucks in regulation. You could take them on the money line if you want. Here, we'll pull up the price again. Yeah, I mean, minus 140 is a straight bet. I mean, I guess it's not horrible if you're okay with laying that. So, Canucks for me, and Jackets team total under 2.5. I'm going to ride Demko's hot hand here.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I love the Canucks here. I mean, they're playing how they should have been since the beginning. That coaching change really helped them, boosted everything around the team everywhere. Demko, I think he feels very confident with himself now. Like I've
Demko's a
read some
good
of the,
goalie. I mean, we
yeah,
saw in that playoff run how good
and
he
I've
could
read some
be.
things on Twitter of like the guys like watching their practices or whatever, the beat writers and stuff, and they're just saying how Demko's like having fun out there and he's confident with himself again. So that helps out a lot. I don't see this Canucks team losing tonight. I mean, overtime's always a scary thought when you do bet the regulation line, and they do they lean to the under. But my favorite bet on this one.
But Jackets on the road are way over. I mean, like, I don't think I'd really want to lean to the under, but like they give up so much to where their games go over.
True. But my favorite bet, I'm gonna stick with it. I also am gonna. It's same. It was my thought process of when the Hawks fired their coach, of how every first period went under, and the Hawks were winning every first period. So 100% going with that tonight. I got Canucks first period and the Canucks under 1.5. Obviously, I hope it ends 1-0, but the under 1.5 has hit for all these Canucks games. I think all of them. I'm correct.
No, the Jets game went over. It was 2-1 in the first period.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't bet it against the Jets game because the Jets always go over. That's the thing. The Jets are a first period over team, so I didn't bet it. I don't think I bet it against the Jets. I think I bet both teams to score. That was literally because Canucks have been very good in that first period, and I knew the Jets are a good first period team, so I went with the both teams to score. I can even go find it. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I did, and it worked out perfectly. So I've done good with these.
Yeah, I cashed a live bet in that game too because the Canucks tie in the first period streak. So when they scored the first goal, I bet the Jets to tie it up.
100%. Yeah, it makes sense. But I'm going to go back to that under 1.5 here and Canucks first period money line.
All right, I like it. I'm riding Vancouver in regulation and the Jackets team total under 2.5 here in regulation time as well for that one. So that's that. One more game to talk about here, and that is the Seattle Kraken heading over to San Jose to take on the Sharks. This line here, Kraken plus 125 on the road, Sharks minus 145 at home, over under 5.5 shaded to the under. Now, I went ahead and grabbed the first period over in this one here. You look at the last handful plus of Kraken games on the road, and we've seen 3 goals in the first period of pretty much all of them. I mean, Kraken on the road, I mean, they score goals, they give up goals. I mean, this game here could end up, being back and forth. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I believe Reimer's going to get the nod for the Sharks, so, I mean, he's been pretty good for them. Dreger going to go for the Kraken. I mean, take what you want with him. I mean, he's different being away from Florida, but, I'll take this first period over here. I got it minus 120. I think it'll come through here. I mean, the Kraken, the last 2 times I bet it, it's failed for me. Of course, that game against Columbus, it's a 5-4 game, and the first period didn't go over. It didn't even have a goal. It's just one of those you look at and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm totally staying away from this one. I'm gonna do live bets probably. It's the last game of the night. I'm gonna be watching it. Like, I'm gonna do some stupid live bets. I don't know what it'll be, but it will be based on how they're playing this like tonight. Because both teams, I don't know if you consider them consistent or not, but I don't see any like trends for
I
these.
see the Kraken are consistent. I don't think the Sharks are.
But don't you think that could change if you don't have two consistent teams? I don't know. It makes me feel like you could see something different. And we talked about Drider, and that is we don't really know what to think of him. So I will. The only thing I will probably be going with, I'll go back to my defenseman trend against Seattle and take Erik Karlsson.
Yep. You already have Carlson.
Yeah, Karlsson.
Carlson's been so
probably,
good as of late too, and he's plus money for half a point.
100%. Yeah, Karlsson. I'm definitely betting him. I don't know if I will do Burns, but I have Karlsson because I think he's been the better of the two as of late. So yeah.
100%. Yeah. So that's going to be the card for today. I'm on the first period over in that one. I'll go ahead and show you guys the rest of my card here. You can see it on your screen. I don't have the Bruins in Vegas first period over on there because I kind of bet it right before we went live because I forgot to bet it. So I got that at minus 120. But Canucks money line there in regulation. Jackets under 2.5 goals. Leafs to score first. Leafs to lead after the first. Penguins on the puck line. And Dallas in the first period puck line. And as I mentioned, Seattle, San Jose, first period over 1.5. So there's the card. You can take one last look at it before it goes away forever until you find it on my Twitter at Jarek_Ruble11. And there it goes. Oh, Jake, if you want to go ahead. You got a recap? I know you don't have a screenshot, but if you want to go ahead and go over what your plays are.
I was like, you were like, there it goes. I'm like, all right, what's he talking? But I do not have an official recap because I need to sign up for that chalkboard app, and I was almost late. I was playing hockey today, so I got here like 5 minutes before the show started, so I don't really have time to do all that. But one of my I'll go over them. Under 6 in Vegas and the Bruins. I got that at minus 120. I got, I don't want to talk about player props. I have Kings money line. I have the Dallas in regulation. And then those are my main ones. But probably my favorite parlay, which I don't want it to be too favorite because it's a little bigger parlay, but I'm confident in this Flyers team tonight. I got the Penguins, the Jets, the Stars, and the Canucks, all money lines. And obviously they're all favorites, but when you combine them, it comes out to plus 760. And I'm confident in all these teams to win tonight, whether it's in overtime or regulation. But I'm going to take their money lines as is and combine them for a big plus price.
All right, so that's Jake's card. I know we both have some props to discuss, so we'll go ahead and get to those. We'll kind of go back and forth. I'll start things off with some assist props that I got. These are all going to be over half an assist. I like Mark Stone here for Vegas, plus 110. You look at his recent games here. As Jake mentioned, him and Pacioretty have just been going back and forth. And Pacioretty tends to score a lot of those goals, receiving the pass from Stone. So plus money here for an assist for Stone. I like that. Riley Smith, plus 235 for an assist. This is more of a thought that he's going back playing against a team that he broke into the league with the Boston Bruins. So I'm just going to kind of go here with the former player factor. It's been coming through here this last week. So Riley Smith to get an assist. And then one last assist, William Nylander here. He's just been feeding the puck everywhere. One of the hottest players in the league right now. Plus 105 for an assist. And for some reason, I don't know why I didn't write him down, but Rantanen, I'm going to go back to him. I don't know what his odds are at the moment, but he had 3 assists last game against Florida. I like him here tonight against the Rangers a little bit to keep it going. He's on that top line. The power play goes. So I'll take a shot there with Rantanen as well.
Speaking of Rantanen, which I wouldn't have brought up, but it's a stupid little thing where I bet $9.60 because he's 96 that he gets 2 goals every night. Because before, it's just been a thing. And the Avs have put up 5, 7, 6, all these goals, and he's not getting any of them. And it just baffles me because usually he's the guy that's scoring every night. And he's had multiple 2-goal nights this season. And they haven't come through when they're scoring the most goals they've scored across this entire season. They've put up 5 minimum like every game except for the Florida game, obviously. But I'll definitely be looking at him to score too. Probably not tonight. I don't know. This Rangers team, Georgiev, take it as is. But I don't have any assist props, but I have point props, and these guys would build my DFS lineup if I had one. I had Eriksson Ek in there for a point. Obviously, some of these are very juiced, but some are not. But my favorite one actually, and I bet this separately, is Evan Rodriguez to get a point. I talked about that with the Penguins game.
That's got to be FanDuel, right? Does DraftKings even have that?
Yeah, maybe not. It is FanDuel though. Minus 120. So I like him on that top line with Crosby. I think they're gonna do goods tonight. I have him to also score a goal along with Crosby over 1.5 points. I'm gonna take that whole Penguins top line right there. But with Evan Rodriguez, I have Sam Reinhart, who's been doing very good. Obviously, I got Nikolai Ehlers. He's finally come back into himself. Nylander, as you talked about, he's stepped up as well. And then JT Miller, he's on a get a point, not get a point trend right now. He's the top point scorer for the Canucks is him. But these last 6 games, he's gone point, no point, point, no point. And this game is lining up for him to get a point. So I have those 5. I guess it is now. It did have Eriksson Ek, but it's a 5-leg parlay now. Comes out to plus 1,800, combining these 5 guys to get a point, who all have been very hot in the league. So I'm gonna combine them for that plus money price.
All right, I like it. You got anything else for us, or am I just gonna kind of ramble through the rest of mine?
Oh, I have one. You can go through some, and then I'll go back to some.
All right, I'll give you guys some goal scorer props and some power play points here. In the goal scoring department, I like Oliver Wahlstrom tonight for the Islanders. He's plus 310. He's arguably been their best player, him and Anders Lee, since coming back from the COVID break. And fantasy wise too, he's been over 10 points every single game. Goal and assist here, goal there. I like Wahlstrom here against Detroit plus 310 to get on the score sheet. I think that's probably the best bet of any of the Islanders tonight. And then Brock Besser to keep it going here against the Jackets. He's scored in every game since Boudreau's taken over. You got to love that. He's plus 175. I'll keep going back to the hot hand. And then taking over to the power play points, both of them are going to be from the Maple Leafs. They have the hottest power play in the league right now. And I went to it against the Hawks and cashed the Matthews. Same price, plus 155 for him to record a point on the power play. And then Morgan Riley, Jake, I'm sure he probably has the same thing because we were talking about it. Plus 285 on DraftKings to record a power play point. Now, the way I see it going here on the power play is if both of them are going to get a point, it's either going to be like Matthews scoring on the assist from Riley and Nylander, or it's going to be probably Nylander scoring a goal from Riley and Matthews. So those 3 guys have just been magnificent.
That is the order it's going to go. It's either going to be Matthews to Riley to Nylander, or Nylander to Riley, but I know the trend is Riley passes it to Matthews for the one-timer, or he just fakes the one-timer and does a wrist shot.
Or Matthews is going to come in from that left circle and just rip it over the shoulder.
Exactly. It was happening so often. I was betting it every game, basically. I would just go back to it because it was just being so successful. I get the notification, Morgan Riley assists to Austin Matthews on the power play. So I'm going to ride that one as well. And then, were you done? Or
yeah, those were and then after you're done, I got 4 half-a-point props.
Okay. I talked about it earlier with the Red Wings and Islanders game. I'm going to go with that top line of Raymond, Larkin, and Bertuzzi. I think they're going to have themselves a night tonight, I would hope. Maybe not too much of a night, but enough to get all my props in one thing, which is I have them all 3 to get points, and they are all minus 110 to get points. Dylan Larkin's minus 120. But all 3 of those guys to just have any point, goal or assist on power play, whatever it is, minus 110, I'll take it. And then I also bet them separately, a smaller number, a smaller unit, to get a goal, all 3 of them, because I want to hit at least one will come through. And then my last player prop is that's weird. My last player prop is Andrew Kopp to have a goal tonight. He's on that top line. I just remember a funny trend where when I bet him one time and you laughed at me or whatever because you're like, oh, Andrew Kopp, that's him, right?
It was Don and I. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bet him again, or I'm gonna bet him here tonight with that top line.
All right, I like it there. I think our stream's having issues here on YouTube. I have it pulled up and it's kind of like lagging here and there, but it says we're live with no issues here on StreamYard. So if you're having issues, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully stuff comes back up as a video just fine. But we're almost done here. We'll kind of go quickish, I guess, in case there is issues. My over half a point props here. I like Jamie Benn. I was talking about him. He's been magnificent for the Stars these last 4 games. Got him minus 115 for a point. Erik Karlsson, he's plus 100. I couldn't believe it. He's been scoring at almost a point per game rate here as of late. Taking on the Kraken, who we like to pick at the top defenseman against. Brock Besser, minus 120 for just a point. I was like, might as well. Columbus allows goals. Maybe if he doesn't score, he still gets an assist. And then I grabbed Riley Smith anyway, minus 110, to kind of just hedge that assist prop in case he gets a goal instead. Because I kind of do have a feeling about Smith here tonight. I guess if I were going to do that, I could have just bet goal scorer. I don't know why I did that. Kind of stupid of me now that I look at it, but yeah, those are the props for me here tonight.
All right. Yeah, I see what you mean by the it's not loading.
Right? And I refreshed it a couple times and then it came back. So like I don't know what's going on.
Well, I guess we'll end it here anyways.
Yeah, I guess I don't have to go through all my DFS. I'll just pop my lineups here on the screen. Here's one of them. Ben Tavares. I kind of stacked the Stars and Leafs here. Those are the 2 teams I like the most tonight. Hopefully this ends up back as a video so you guys can see this part. And then my other lineup, this is my main one. Matthews, Newhook, Besser, Nylander, Stone, Carlson. Matheson's kind of my cheap defenseman here. And then Ottinger, Wallstrom. All these guys have been, pretty red hot around the entire league. So we're banking on them to keep it going. You got anything for DFS?
I would just go with my 6 player. Oh, I guess it's 5 players that I had. It would be in my lineup: Sam Reinhart, Evan Rodriguez, Ehlers, Nylander, and JT Miller. I don't know where I'd go from there. I definitely would like Ottinger, as you had him in there too.
Yeah.
As a lock for the win there, but you could also take somebody like Nedeljkovic, who's going to get a lot of saves and hopefully pull off that win for at least I think Detroit wins tonight. But
All right. Take care. End the show here with the best bets, but before we get there, make sure to follow us on Twitter. Myself at Jake_Ruble11, Jake at JakeElder19, the show at Royal Betters. We appreciate all the support. Sometimes we, we got up to double-digit viewers the other day, which is nice to see. That doesn't happen too often as we try and grow this baby. So, I can't speak. If you're, coming in live here every day, I do appreciate it because it's nice to have, some consistent viewership. Makes me feel good. So, we got best bets to talk about. Jake, you got a best bet?
I do.
Tell it.
You want me to call it?
Yeah.
It'll be Dallas in regulation at plus 100. I couldn't go wrong with it. I don't like this Blues. I mean, the Blues team is good, but their goalie situation isn't all there right now.
The spot's just not great.
Yeah, like we said, Dallas good at home. Dallas has been playing a lot better. The Blues have been playing a lot worse. So, yeah. Dallas in regulation plus 100. And it's back up, by the way.
Is it? All right, cool. My best bet here is going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. I put a little bit more than just a unit on it. I put $7.50 is normally 1 unit for me. I put about 12 here on this one. I like the first goal to be scored by the Maple Leafs in this one to make it 15 out of 18 first goals against for the Edmonton Oilers. So lock it in, minus 110 Leafs first goal here tonight. So want to thank everybody again for tuning in. We should be live tomorrow. What's your plan tomorrow? Because I'm off tomorrow, so I'm probably going to hop on here.
I work at 11:50, 15.
All right.
5. Oh, 12:15.
12:15? All right. Maybe a 10 o'clock show's in the works tomorrow. Oh, never mind. There's puck time tomorrow, so I would say 11 o'clock.
11 or 9, whatever we decide.
I'm kind of feeling 11.
I'm feeling 11 too. Wager Talk today can take some views, but...
Yeah, all right. So we'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time. Cash and tickets, make some money tonight. I wish you all the best of luck. Thanks, Jake, for coming back. It's good to have you back.
Yep, I hope I have a good first day back here, and we stick to it and get some winning bets.
Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. All 54 minutes of this. See y'all tomorrow.